Hey everybody, this is Steve Cooper, food app critic for tokemag.com. This week we have ifoodtv. It is a free app that boasts over 40,000 videos, which are all cooking related videos, I should say. This, if you're not familiar, it's from the website ifood.tv. Instead of .com, it's .tv. And they have over 4 million unique visitors come to that site every month. So it's a very big website. It's, kind of think of it as like a YouTube for food. I just read a thing the other day that said they're also getting into connected TV. So they're going to be competing with the big boys like the Food Network and the Cooking Channel, which is also a Food Network. So anyways, let's talk about this app. Like I said, it's got over 40,000 video recipes accessible by this app. And this, it's free. I mentioned that already, and I want to stress that because in terms of the app itself, it's not as good as you would hope for, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's just too much of a good thing, as I wrote in my written review. You open it up and it has a whole bunch of little tiny thumbnails to help organize and find what you're looking for, which sounds like a really great idea, except that swipe, swipe, swipe. There are 8 pages of these tiny little thumbnails to help make the process of finding my videos easier. And so that right there should have tipped me off that this is going to be a very cumbersome app when it comes to finding what I'm really looking for. So I want to get into what this app offers in terms of what these thumbnails get me to. So it's very, very niche. I can find diabetic recipes. I can find recipes for kids, low-cal recipes, Indian food, American food, Canadian food, and then it also gets into category and subcategory. So in the healthy category food, you might find appetizers. In the snack food, you might find appetizers. So it's all cross-reference, all put out there up front. There's no drilling down to try to ease the process, which really doesn't do this app any favors. If I do click one of these thumbnails, I get a page that gives me one recipe at a time. There's a banner ad across the bottom. There is no, that I saw anyway, a paid option to get rid of that. You can rotate the app and it will then eliminate that banner ad. And this is actually the best way I found to use this app, is on its side like this. It kind of cleans up all the clutter that you see in the vertical view. From this page, whether you're looking at horizontal or vertical, you swipe left and right to view the recipe options. This is one of the problems that I found in some of the subcategories where they're very small and niche. It might have just 6 recipes, but I could swipe and swipe and swipe, and it would go to 7, 8, 9, and repeat the recipe I had already seen. And even the numbering system wasn't making sense. It would say I'm on recipe 24 of just 6 recipes. So you can see there's a little glitch there. Within these pages, you can post it to Facebook, Twitter. You can like it. You click on the button here, and it gives you the ingredient list, which again you can scroll up and down, as well as the preparation process. And that's a left-right swipe. In the horizontal view, you get a timer, but you do not get that in the vertical view. The timer, by default, set to 30 minutes. Again, another kind of lazy thing, so it's not associated with any particular recipe that you're working on. The ingredient list, this is another thing where I say I want to harp on the fact that it's free, because in every basically paid recipe app that I have reviewed, you can do something with this ingredient list. You can create a shopping list. And my usual complaints are over whether or not the shopping list is good or great, or it needs some work, and how it organizes the ingredients. This one doesn't even have that. It doesn't even have that option, which seems it's one of these standard features nowadays that you just expect and take for granted. So the fact that this doesn't have it is really disappointing. And I'll rotate it back horizontal here. Doesn't rotate back with me. I actually have to click back a couple times before it will then go back to the vertical point here. So as you can see, it's full of all these little quirks and glitches. I do a search, and this is really where it gets, I wrote in my review, it gets really comical. So if I go down to the cuisine option, I can actually do an advanced search on this app and sort by various things. So cuisine is the one I'm going to focus on because it's just insane. There is this humongous list of basically every location on the planet, it seems like, of cuisine. And in my review, I highlighted, a street in London, a little tiny town in Canada. There are all these really, really niche places where you don't need to carve out an entire navigational point within the app for 2 recipes out of 40,000. And that's really what they've done, not in just this section, but throughout this entire app. So in trying to make the process of finding these recipes easier, they've actually just done nothing but complicated the issue. Moving on, as you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of this app, right? Moving on, the favorites, I don't think I mentioned this, but from within the recipe page, you can favorite a recipe. As you can see, I just click the favorite button. When I do the close-up, I'm not sure if it'll do the same thing, but right now I'm looking at this screen for my favorites, and it's still trying to load. Another one of those glitches that I found. Sometimes it loads my favorite recipe, sometimes it doesn't load the recipe. Sometimes it'll load the recipe but not include the thumbnail. Sometimes it'll load just a couple of them. So the favorites really, again, of all the functionality within this app to try to give you what you want out of these 40,000 videos, this is the one thing that could have been its saving grace, but this is probably the most glitchy part of this app. There's a My Diary, which you have to sign into either the website or through Facebook or Twitter, and this is where you can post pictures of things that you've cooked in your kitchen. And then lastly, just to kind of wrap this thing up, there's a recipe spinner, and this is one of those recipe randomizer things where you kind of spin the wheel here and it will land on something and then throw you into a dish to cook. And so I can say I want, it's got vegan and desserts and all sorts of things, and it'll land on something and then kick me over to the recipe. It works. I can say that about it. It doesn't necessarily give me the flexibility that I have seen in some of the other apps. All Recipes Dinner Spinner Pro has a really great randomizer. I mean, that's the whole app, and it's really great because you can customize the randomness. So you can say, I want a dish that'll take less than 30 minutes, or I want a dish that includes chicken, and then randomize it. This one doesn't give any of those options. You just spin the wheel and you might be looking for dinner and it's going to kick you over to dessert. So saying all that, I kind of hinted at the top, the videos on this thing are nice. I think you will get value out of the videos, and because again this app is free, it's hard to really gripe and complain about an app that gives you access to 40,000 good, helpful videos. I'm not saying that every single one will be good and helpful, but the ones that I looked at, I thought were pretty good. So if you want to use this thing as just a search for your YouTube of food videos, you might think this app is okay. If you try to use any functionality that you have come to expect within a recipe app, I think you're going to be really disappointed with this app. So based on all of that, as you can tell, I'm not going to give this thing a great score. The best I could do, and this is because it has so much content and gives you access to so much content for free. I want to stress that fact. The best I could do is give this app a 2 out of 5. So if you have downloaded this, let me know what you think. Leave a message down below. Go to tokemag.com, read the written review. I offer much greater detail and explain myself a little bit better, I think. And leave a comment there as well, and you can follow all the app reviews there. And until next time, thanks for watching.